Hey everybody, I'm Gina Ferentz. I coordinate the financial wellness programs at OneTeam. Dave Buckwald's joining me today. Hello.
Hello, how
Dave,
are you?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm fantastic.
We are here talking about one of my favorite topics, estate planning. I like to really refer to this program as it's time to get your act together, so to speak, and it's certainly time to get it together. So this is one of the programs in our series, Dave, and let's start out with the basics. What does estate planning really mean?
Well, estate planning is a term because people often think about, growing their money because that's exciting and investing their money. But estate planning is not just about leaving money when you pass away. It's also about protecting, preserving your money, asset protection, and then ultimately transferring your wealth to the people you love the most or any important causes in the most efficient manner.
And I think really some of the messaging we want to get through on this webinar is to say, listen, you have to get your act together. So let's say you had your documents done and you did it and you put them in a shelf. And we talk about this with life insurance, right? You take out a policy, you put it away, you stick it in the safe deposit box or in your drawer, whatever you do, and you never look at it. It's the same theme. There's some themes going on here. So you have to look at those documents because whomever you selected in those categories, whether it's the beneficiary or it's who you put as a trustee if you set up a trust on some of those documents, or your guardian, things change, right? So who you liked 10 years ago might not necessarily be who you like today. I always say, let's look at your wedding party. Right? I always think about this. Flashback 20 years. I don't know, things change. And not only do things change in our lives as creating those documents, but things might have changed in the lives of those people that you select, right? So who I put down when my kids were 3 years old as guardian might not be who I would select now when my kids are 15 years old, right? It's very different. So it's so important to really look at those documents and examine who you put down. And similarly, look at the documents because many times when we're working with people, we say, oh, you filled out some of the docs, right? Okay, great, you have a will, but do you have an advanced care directive, right? Do you have a living will? Do you have all the components? And many times the answer is no. So it's so important to really always update and look at all the documents. And for those of you out there who don't have any documents done, and I was in that category not so long ago, and I'd like to admit that right here to the whole world, get it together. Because what happens is it's one of those items that you keep putting on the bucket list, right? I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Kind of like life insurance for a lot of people. I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And once you do it, what happens is it's a huge, huge stress reliever. And you can actually breathe and sleep at night, which is the whole goal at OneTeam Financial, is to help you all sleep at night and be protected and make sure your whole financial house is in order, right?
That was great. I don't know how much I can add to that, but I love your analogy with your wedding or your wedding party. Estate planning is a moving target, whether it's updating your beneficiary forms. Too often, we see that, they forgot to add a third child or you still have your ex-spouse as a beneficiary and people don't understand the beneficiary forms override the will. So everything needs to be reviewed because your life evolves. Things change. Kind of a rule of thumb, and again, I'm not an attorney, so we don't give out legal advice, but we know how important these documents are as part of a comprehensive plan to really, I say go back to your wedding day when when you got married, you promised to love, honor, adore, and protect. And to me, this is really about protecting the people you swore to protect. Whether it's children you're bringing in the world, this is an important part of a comprehensive, holistic plan to have all your legal documents in order to protect the people you love the most, to protect your money, to protect from creditors and predators, as they say, and then ultimately, leave a legacy if that's important to you. But it's not just about leaving money. My family, it's important for my kids to know the values that my wife and I stand for. I mean, this is all part of planning and protecting and have a holistic plan.
And it all really is part of that financial wellness, right? It's
Absolutely.
All the pieces that come together and everything has to be coordinated. And you sometimes don't realize it. And I think that especially in today's world, right, what we have seen is that life does change in an instant, right? Whether it's any catastrophic event, we can take back from 9/11 to the pandemic, life changes and you have to be protected. And what we've seen, I think, in the last 2 years with this pandemic is, from the healthcare standpoint, is making sure those documents are in order, because you want access to anybody with your loved ones in those situations, and so many of these documents are tied into that.
Absolutely.
So changing gears just a tad bit, if you're in that category where you have excess of, let's say, 10 million in assets, right? There could be some different strategies that you can do, and they're a little bit more sophisticated, and talk about that just a little bit.
Well, yeah, especially, everybody needs those basic documents. Everyone should have those: will, living will, powers of attorney, healthcare proxies, advance directives. Everybody should have those basic documents. But obviously the magic number seems to be at about $10 million with various legislative proposals that are out there. But that's, once you start getting over 10 million, there's certain advanced, planning techniques. And again, I'm not the attorney, but, there's dynasty trusts, there's, LLCs, there's foundations, there's just more things, because the financial situation is a little more complex. And without diving too deep into that, it just puts you in a little different arena, because you have more money. There's more money, more problems, more issues, more things to protect. But the basic documents, everybody really needs to have them.
Excellent. So thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Stop on by. I'm kind of hanging out here a lot. So this gives you a little bit of an overview of the highlights of this program. If you would like to see the full recording, feel free to reach out to me at Gina@OneTeamFinancial.com, or direct cell 908-392-0901. Again, this is one of our programs in a series. The other programs include taxes and retirement, Social Security, Medicare, life insurance, long-term care, financial literacy for parents, cybersecurity, and we add programs on all the time, with the goal of providing you with education, knowledge, and resources so that you can remain financially well and live well into retirement and well beyond. So feel free to reach out if you'd like to get some more information on this program. Dave, always a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, Gina.
Have a great day, everybody, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Take care.